So I've just received some information from unnamed sources, and I know people, when you hear the word unnamed sources, they're like, what is it? What he's trying to be CNN or something? But I've heard that maybe the Iranian nation may have just influenced the Ontario PC party to hold a leadership election before the Ontario general election. Now, this is just information that I've heard. I've heard it from multiple people, who have told me. Some people even said, maybe you shouldn't share this because the party hasn't shared it yet. But my subscribers come first. My viewers come first. I mean, the party, I have no link. I have no string attached to me with the party. My loyalty is with the Iranian nation and my subscribers and my viewers. And, withholding information that I hear, that's not fair to you guys. If they want to come and shoot me, well, that's fine. But I don't think they will. But this is just proof that very important people hear what the Iranian nation has to say. Now, a lot of my viewers don't live in Ontario. Many of them are Americans. They live in other parts of Canada. And for the past day now, I've been talking about this Patrick Brown incident and the Ontario PCs. And people are probably thinking to themselves, what the hell is this guy talking about? So let me explain. So you all know, Canada. Now, Ontario is a province in Canada, just like New York is a state in America. And just like New York has a governor and state parties, we also have a premier and parties. And the Ontario PC party, that's the Ontario Progressive Conservative Party. Now, that's the main center-right party. I say quotations because, some people might say that, lately they haven't been so conservative. But, that's a whole different issue because now, if the information that I've heard is true, the conservative members of Ontario will have an opportunity to choose their next leader. And that might be thanks to the Iranian nation. But the Liberals are the main center-left party, and then you have the NDP, which is a socialist party, which is to the left of the Liberals. Now, Patrick Brown was the leader of the Ontario Progressive Conservative Party because, in Canada, just like in the provinces of Ontario, you become premier or prime minister by the amount of seats a party has. And the party with the most seats, the leader of that party becomes the prime minister, or in the case of Ontario, which is a province, the next premier. Patrick Brown was the leader of the Ontario PC party, Progressive Conservative, which is a very stupid name, Progressive Conservative. There is no such thing as a progressive conservative. That's an oxymoron. You're either a progressive, an asshole who thinks that it's your way or the highway, which is anything but conservative, or you're a conservative. That's like calling yourself a liberal conservative or a socialist conservative. There is no such thing as a progressive. So that's a stupid name. And they've had that name for a while. But he was the leader of the Progressive Conservative Party. And what had happened was that he was involved in a sex scandal. 2 women came out and accused him of sexual misconduct. Now, I mean, I'm not even going to get into that, but, he resigned as leader. Now, the party insider, the party bosses came together and chose a sort of acting leader, a guy named Vic Fedeli, interim leader or an acting leader. And that's what usually happens when a leader resigns. So you elect an acting leader to act as a substitute until the party chooses a new leader. What was concerning to me and many people was that the party was just going to have this acting leader lead our party into the next election without the people, the members of the party, coming together and having a say in who the next leader would be, which, in my view, would have been undemocratic. But I've heard from a few sources through the grapevine that the Ontario PC party has bended to pressure to hold a leadership race before the Ontario election, which would mean that before the next election, the people who are members of the Ontario Progressive Conservative Party will have a say in who the next leader will be. Now, if y'all want to choose whoever you want to choose, I have my people. I have people who I think would be a big joke. I mean, I've heard people mention, Caroline Mulroney. I mean, I'm not going to get too much into this. I don't want to be. I don't want to get too much into this. But I will just say this: electing Caroline Mulroney will make us look like a joke. It will make us look like a joke. She's the daughter of a former Prime Minister of Canada, who is probably one of the most unpopular Prime Ministers of Canada. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean to her or anything, but I mean, she hasn't. Okay, she doesn't have experience, which I actually prefer. But looking at her, you can feel, you can smell, you can see the establishment dripping off of her. Plus, she's the daughter of a very unpopular prime minister. The people of Ontario are going to think this is a big joke. They're going to think this big opportunity that we have, and y'all elect Caroline. You have all these people you can choose from: Doug Ford, Vic Fideli, Randy Hillier, Monty McNaughton, all these people, Lisa Raitt, all these people, and you go for Caroline Mulroney. I mean, what is wrong with you? But anyway, I don't want to get too into that. Whoever the people choose, now that will be on the people. That will be on our conscience. At least we will now have a choice. I've heard some people say, oh, you shouldn't give the people a choice because, they might elect someone, because I like Vic Fideli, who's now the acting leader, so he should lead us, and the people might not choose him. Well, you're being a dictatorial pig by thinking that way. I mean, if the people have to decide who is going to lead, because this party is extremely divided. The PC party is divided. I mean, Patrick Brown has divided the party. I mean, some people might not like to hear that, but he divided the party. There are people who have left the PC party and even formed other conservative type parties. I mean, we can't have that. So at least now the conservatives across Ontario will have the option to come together and figure out who the next leader will be. Now, I don't want to say whether this news that I've heard is certain or not, but this is what I've heard, that it's official from people inside the party, from multiple sources. I'm not going to mention who they are. Multiple. This is going to be official. They'll announce it. I think the Arana Nation is probably the first media outlet to bring this out. And you know what? I prefer it that way. Some people will be mad. Oh, why are you releasing this before the party and before the media? Well, fuck the media. The Canadian media, CTV, CBC, Global, Toronto Star, they can kiss my ass. I never watch Canadian media, but every time I watch them, I'm reminded why I don't, because a lot of the pundits on Canadian media really are morons, and they're left-wing biased cunts, so to hell with them. This is the Arana Nation. Now, for now, I'm going to stop talking about the Patrick Brown incident and the stuff with the Ontario PC, because there's a lot of other news to talk about. If something else comes up, the Arana Nation will talk about it. The thing is, a lot of stuff have come out, so the Arana Nation has had to talk about it. But, this has been this news with Patrick Brown has been one of the biggest stories the Irana Nation has covered. So it's huge, and it's thrilling actually. But if something else comes out, we'll talk about it. But for now, the next videos I make will be on other things. This is the Irana Nation.